Interior New York train station day. With a big blast of steam, the train rolls to a stop. Title, January 1900. Tesla steps off the train and is besieged by eager reporters.
Gentlemen, I have achieved everything I set out to do. I have made lightning dance at my command. I have circumscribed the globe with electrical impulses. I have received messages from Mars.
Mr. Tesla, can you elaborate on the messages from Mars?
I have received wireless signals of regular pattern. I can think of no possible explanation for such phenomena unless it were an effort being made to communicate with Earth by living creatures on another planet. We must entertain the probability that they are intelligent beings, scientifically more advanced than us. I further predict that within a year or two, we will be conducting a dialogue with our planetary neighbors.
Interior University Hall day. Various close-ups of critics in reporters' scrum settings.
It is the rule of a sound philosophizing to examine all probable causes for an unexplained phenomenon before invoking improbable ones.
Why fasten the disturbances of Mr. Tesla's instrument on Mars? I mean, are there no comments disturbed by the Great Bear of the Milky Way or the zodiological light?
Until Mr. Tesla has shown his apparatus to other experimenters and convinced them as well as himself, it may be safely taken for granted that his signals do not come from Mars.
Resume to the train station.
Although I would be foolhardy to disclose the details of my apparatus before I perfect and patent the invention, would I not?
Exterior Central Park day. A long-bearded, long-robed cult leader surrounded by disciples gives his opinion of it all.
Mr. Tesla is far advanced of anyone on this planet. It is our contention that he may be of alien descent without fully realizing this himself.
Exterior and interior Tesla's Houston Street lab day. Tesla's guys move equipment and boxes back into the lab. George Sheriff approaches Tesla, who finds a typewriter on a horse-drawn wagon and takes it up to his office.
Mr. Tesla, sir, the money is all but gone. I believe we can stay afloat if we resume work on Mr. Astor's lights and oscillators.
Yes, of course. And what of Marconi? He was in town?
He sent wireless shipped to shore at America's Cup races. One of his men came by and bought some of your oscillators a few months ago. I believe he's using them for his wireless experiments in Europe. Sir, he succeeded in transmitting over 100 miles the letter S in Morse code.
Tesla freezes in his tracks, struck by a horrible thought. He sets the typewriter down.
100 miles? The letter S? Did?
Yes. There's something wrong.
You say he's using my oscillators? The ones I tune to my systems?
Yes, but you've patented them.
Of course, good for him, but he is going in the wrong direction. Telegraphy is a relic of a bygone century.
Right, sir, if you say so. Oh, this came for you this morning.
Sheriff hands him an envelope.
The House of Morgan?
Yes, sir.
Tesla tears it open and reads.
Dear Mr. Tesla, the pleasure of your company is requested. You see, Mr. Sop? You see?
Yes, sir. It does sound promising.
Interior Morgan study evening. Morgan walks Tesla through his immense study, lavishly furnished and displaying his hoard of treasures. Tesla admires as Morgan gestures to the portrait of his huge yacht.
It's the Corsair, too. 241 feet from bow to stern. It's conscripted for use in the Spanish-American War, so I commissioned the Corsair 3.
Tesla avoids looking directly at Morgan's deformed nose as they examine display cabinets of ancient coins, rare plates, and original manuscripts, including a Gutenberg Bible.
Is that an original Gutenberg Bible?
Ah, yes, that's dear to my heart. She'll never leave me. It's as close to the original Word of God as I'm able to acquire. Tell me, Tesla, you believe in God?
Of course, my father was a minister.
Indeed. What faith?
Serbian Orthodox.
Morgan approves. He walks to a nearby cabinet and withdraws a cigar humidor.
And I've been reading about your exploits in the wireless art, and I must say that I am intrigued.
Yes, I have perfected an apparatus which permits the transmission of messages to any distance.
You smoke? Because I think you'll appreciate these. Meridiana Kohinoor.
Oh, thank you, Commodore.
That's an 8-inch black cigar. Morgan sits in his favorite chair, snips the end of his cigar with a guillotine cutter.
Now tell me more about your apparatus. Anything in common with Marconi?
Marconi? A babe in the woods. He uses my patents for child's play. He has no concept.
So tell me, Mr. Tesla, what is your concept?
Oh, Commodore, I envision a wireless station, a transmitting tower facility capable of virtually all possible forms of communication.
All forms. Well, I have a need for up-to-the-minute stock market reports wherever I travel around the world. Can you do that?
Indeed, but that is...
You signal ships during times of fog? Report the results of yacht races the minute they happen?
Indeed I can, Mr. Morgan. But you talk of mere telegraphy, the tip of the iceberg.
The tip of the iceberg?
Commodore, one signal makes a telegraph tap. But millions of signals, encompassing the entire electromagnetic spectrum, can make a symphony, or an exchange of voices, as on the telephone, or pictures, or even moving pictures.
Even moving pictures?
Yes. Yes. I'm speaking of communication on any form. I alone have secured the patents that govern all the necessary principles. Think of it, Mr. Morgan, a complete monopoly of wireless communication.
Morgan likes the sound of it all. He regards Tesla closely. Tesla knows he's captured his fish and finally lights the cigar. Exterior field, Shoreham, Long Island, day. Sheriff and the landowner, James Warden, stand by the edge of a large potato field. They watch with curiosity. Tesla stands in the middle of the field, feels the frequencies, sees the light waves, and talks to himself in an unending stream of verbiage.
Is he talking to the Marsians?
I honestly don't know.
Some say he's not from this world. Some say he's from Venus.
This is perfect, I'll take it.
Exterior Wardenclyffe Day. The site is a beehive of activity. Construction workers erect the main lab building while other workers dig a very deep hole in the ground.
My facility would employ hundreds, even thousands. It would become a new city, the birthplace of the wireless age. I was to call it Wardenclyffe.
Tesla confirms with Stanford White, pointing and referring to blueprints. Interior train, luxury coach, day. Tesla opens the paper to read. Disaster and ruin in falling market. Losses in untold millions. Tesla turns the page to a political cartoon. We go into animation. The cartoon depicts Morgan the octopus as he holds a train aloft like a wrestler's championship belt. The train is marked Northern Pacific. Tiny people tumble from the train to be dashed upon the rocks below. The suffering stocks marked U.S. Steel, Consolidated Gas, etc. A small shark marked Harriman tenuously holds onto the caboose with its teeth. Exterior Wardenclyffe Day. The sturdy wooden framework for Tesla's great tower is complete. With the aid of a crane, the metallic framework of the large dome is fitted into place at the top. Tesla watches with delight as Sheriff steps up.
Magnificent, isn't it?
Mr. Tesla, our accounts are completely exhausted. Our creditors are making threats.
Mr. Sheriff, not to worry. You must learn to understand the psychology of these millionaires. Once a great project becomes a juggernaut, it is financially unwise, impossible to abandon it. One's only recourse is simply to continue the funding. Is the way things are done in the modern business world.
Yes, sir.
Wall Street Day. Busy with traffic and commotion. Zero in J.P. Morgan's office on the corner of the Drexel building. Tesla enters the smoke-filled room to find Morgan playing solitaire with a well-worn deck of cards. Morgan does not look up from his game.
Mr. Tesla, back so soon?
Mr. Morgan, you have raised great waves in the industrial world, and some have struck our island.
These are hard times, Tesla.
But, Commodore, the project threatens to come to a standstill. The funds are all...
You're not about to tell me your under budget little project. You're not about to tell me you under budget your little project, have you?
Little. No, sir.
That's why I gave you a contingency, a rather generous one as I recall. Now you're not telling me that that's gone too?
Only due to unforeseen price hikes and delays in funds which you excited!
Which I excited? You're blaming me?
No, you misunderstand.
Tesla checks himself and changes tack. He pulls up a chair and sits. Morgan notes Tesla's presumption with distaste and resumes his solitaire.
Commodore, this project is not only important to you, it is of vital interest to the world. And most assuredly, it is guaranteed to multiply your investment 100-fold. Surely a man who transacts $100 million deals would find a meager addition of 50,000, but a speck of lint in his change pocket.
Morgan loses the solitaire round and throws down the card.
God damn it. Now, Tesla, what I tell you when we made our little bargain?
Commodore,
I specifically told you I wouldn't be bilked for more money. I was very plain about it, and believe me when I tell you I meant it. Now I have held up my end, I provided you with capital, I would now like to see a return on my investment.
But sir, I must implore
That is all, Mr. Tesla. Good day.
Tesla sees Morgan's firm resolve, gets up from the chair.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Tesla turns and leaves as Morgan returns to his solitaire. There's an omitted scene. Tesla appeals to J.J. Astor for funding, and Astor refuses. Exterior, Wardenclyffe Day. Tesla arrives at the site and notes the horse-drawn carts bringing windows and siding for the tower. Tesla enters the main building.
Any luck, sir?
Mr. Sheriff, have those shipments set back.
Sir?
I'm afraid we must delay our aesthetic considerations and pursue a more frugal cause.
I was hoping you'd say that, sir. The meeting with Astor?
Yeah, the insolence of the wealthy. We must show them, Sheriff. No time to lose. We must race to get the tower operational.
But our creditors, the bills.
They'll be paid. Just not today. You know what to do, Mr. Sheriff.
Tesla disappears into his office. Wardenclyffe Tower Day. Tesla stands on the platform surrounding the ball atop his tower. He surveys the landscape, deep in thought. Down below, a motor car bounds up the rough road. Robert is at the wheel with Katharine beside him, doing all she can do to keep her large hat on. Tesla happily clambers down the tower to meet them.
It's time for a break, Mr. Tesla. We've come to take you to the beach.
But
No excuses, Nick. We already confirmed it with your Mr. Sheriff.
Tesla glances back to the lab building. Sheriff waves.
Well, it appears I have no choice.
Exterior beach day. A perfect day to be out on the secluded Long Island beach. While Katharine relaxes and reads under an umbrella, Tesla and Robert are out swimming. They race each other to a large wooden float anchored a quarter-mile from the shore. Tesla beats Robert by a country mile. He waits as Robert splashes up exhausted. Robert hauls himself out onto the float.
Quitting so soon?
Where do you get your energy?
Old man, you need to eat your vegetables. I'm just getting started.
You go on ahead. I'll just rest here a while.
I'm not coming back to rescue you.
Don't worry about me, old boy. Besides, I'll be working, letting the day inspire a poem.
Letting your sleep inspire a poem.
Robert bats the water at Tesla. Tesla laughs and swims away. Robert rolls on his back and relaxes. Tesla swims to the shore, walks back to Katharine and their picnic spot. Katharine looks up from her book, Wuthering Heights, to admire his tall, lanky body dripping wet in the glistening sun. Tesla joins her under the umbrella.
Quite a swim, Mr. Inventor.
Oh, most refreshing, Mrs. Filippov.
He shakes his hands at her, flinging water. She shrieks.
Oh, rascal! You are, aren't you? But I warn you, my darling. Beware my retribution.
Tesla eases onto the beach blanket.
My dear, what could you possibly do? From you, there's absolutely nothing to fear.
Huh? What if I...
Katharine rolls on top of him and starts to tick. Tesla freaks. This is not funny. But Katharine's got him pinned. She laughs wickedly and doesn't let up. Tesla can't stand it. He takes drastic measures and flings her off and rolls away. Katharine is insulted and hurt.
Oh. Don't be so melodramatic. It's only flesh. If you can't stand me, just say so.
No, Katharine, it's not that.
Yes. Your touching phobia. You can't help it. Verily, Mr. Tesla, I've seen times when you've not recoiled. Miss Merrington, for example.
Oh, Katharine, be reasonable. There's only one man you should touch, and he's my best friend.
Should, could, would. I'll not love Robert any less by merely touching you. It's only in friendship, nothing more.
She looks out at Robert, fast asleep on the float.
I just wish that once you would touch me, hold me, caress me in a way that he never does. There's a world of communication in a simple touch, Mr. Tesla. As a scientist of the medium, you should appreciate that. It can be quite therapeutic. For you, for me. Please.
No.
Please. An expression beyond words.
I can't. I'm sorry.
Katharine gives up. She turns away and cries softly. Interior Niko's room, night. An extremely sick teenage Niko in bed, sweating, feverish, about to die. His mother mops his forehead with a cloth while his father confers with a doctor.
This cholera, I am amazed it has not killed your boy by now in 9 months. How a child can endure such a torture for so long is beyond comprehension.
As the doctor sneezes, Niko gives a start, frightened. Teenage Niko's point of view. The cloud of germs formed by the sneeze. Millions of minuscule droplets reflecting the light like an evil stardust. Exterior beach continuing. Katharine sobs quietly. Tesla struggles with the feelings he's never experienced. He cares for her enough to try.
Sometimes I wish I wasn't who I am.
He reaches out and places his hand on her shoulder. She takes his hand in hers. His knee-jerk reaction is to recoil, but she holds fast. He lets her. She fondles his hand, feels every nuance, and kisses his fingers. She closes her eyes and presses his hand against her face, guides his hand over her lips and down to her neck. Tesla is more curious than aroused. Katharine lies flat and guides his hand to her stomach. She lets go. Tesla doesn't draw back. Slowly, he eases himself around, places his head on her stomach. A little tense at first, then he relaxes deeper, deeper, finally into contentment and bliss. For Katharine, it's pure heaven. It's better than sex. Angle on the float. Robert is awake and watches the figures on the shore with blank curiosity, but without his glasses, they are a blur. Exterior Waldorf Astoria Hotel day. It's the Christmas season in New York City. A blanket of freshly fallen snow and decorations everywhere. Tesla leaves the hotel in a cheery mood and strides down Park Avenue. He tips his hat to passers-by, who smile back in recognition. Exterior Long Island, morning. A commuter train cuts through the snowy countryside, leaving New York City behind. Super title, December 12th, 1901. Interior train coach day. Tesla buys a newspaper from the paperboy. He settles in and opens it to read. Wireless signals across the ocean. Marconi says he has received them from England. Tesla is aghast. 1900s newsreel footage. Marconi and his crew pose for the camera on Signal Hill, St. John's, Newfoundland. A kite holds a long wire antenna aloft. Exterior Wardenclyffe day. Tesla runs towards the main building. Tesla's Wardenclyffe office day. Tesla quickly gathers up important drawings, binders, and folders and rolls them up and jams what he can into his briefcase. Sheriff and Miss Skerritt enter looking sympathetic.
We read the news this morning, sir. I am so sorry.
Sorry? Sorry for what? You haven't done a thing. Nothing to apologize for. Miss Skerritt, my magnifying transmitter notes are not where they're supposed to be.
Mr. Tesla, they're in the shop where you left them last night.
It doesn't mean all is lost, sir.
Indeed it doesn't, Mr. Sheriff. We must simply, alter our strategy. Time to pull out other stops, eh? Let our organs blow. Whew.
With that odd metaphor, Tesla closes his briefcase and rushes out. Sheriff and Miss Skerritt exchange worried looks. Interior Morgan's office day. Morgan's secretary, Miss Costa Green, ushers Tesla into the room. Morgan looks up from his stock reports and Miss Green leaves them.
Mr. Tesla, well.
Mr. Morgan, Marconi's piracy calls for a careful revision of my plans. We can no longer develop our business in grocery shop fashion.
Marconi's piracy?
He is using 17 of my patents. My patents!
Indeed. That is so. How the hell has he managed to beat you to it? And why is it 1/7 the price of your enterprise?
Commodore, please. Marconi is a dabbler. He's a donkey. He has nothing to exploit commercially.
Oh, no? I can think of several things. In fact, everything I ask of you.
But, Commodore, you cannot be content to merely report yacht races or signal ships and ticker tape machines. This is no business for a man of your position and importance. Perhaps you don't fully appreciate the sense of your obligation.
My obligation?
To humankind and to yourself as the maker of empires. I offer you a scale of a large, dignified system commensurate with your stature in life. Please, let me show you.
Tesla unfurls his plans on Morgan's desk all over the paper.
Wait, now Tesla,
Please indulge me, Commodore, for these are the true plans for Wardenclyffe.
What do you mean, true plans?
Forgive me, sir, but I have held back a secret piece of information from you.
Oh, you have?
Tesla finds and unfurls the sketches for the magnifying transmitter. He gestures proudly and struts the room like a pitchman.
This is not merely a communications enterprise. No! This is something revolutionary. With my magnifying transmitter, I shall broadcast electricity through the air